The boardroom was silent until she stormed in. Her heels clicked like gunshots against the marble floor, her arm hooked through his, my ex-husband, as if she already owned the place. She didn't wait for permission to speak. "We want our share of this $100 million company," she spat, chin tilted high, eyes scanning the directors like prey. My husband, no, her husband now, stood behind her, not meeting my gaze. Coward. I leaned back in my chair, folding my hands calmly. My voice was quiet, deliberate, sharp enough to slice through her arrogance. Not a penny. The smirk on my lips wasn't for them, it was for me. Because the trap had already been set. Backstory. I remember the first night I met him. His smile disarmed me. He said he admired my mind, not my face, and I believed him. He followed me into late nights at the office, into dreams of building something lasting. We grew this company together, every line of code, every investor pitch, every sleepless night. I gave him trust. He gave me promises. But promises rot. The first cracks were small. A lipstick on his collar he dismissed as his sister's hug. Late meetings that smelled of perfume. A phone call he answered in the bathroom, voice hushed, urgent. I knew before I saw them together. Intuition whispers before it screams. When I walked in on them, my COO's office, my husband's hands on her waist, his mouth against hers, it wasn't shock that hit me. It was silence. A cold, still clarity. That was the moment I stopped being his wife and became his executioner. I didn't scream, didn't cry. I let them believe I was broken, weak, defeated. But inside, I was already writing the blueprint. Step 1, tighten control. I shifted shares quietly, redrafted bylaws, secured majority voting rights. Lawyers moved like shadows under my instructions, restructuring assets through shell companies no one traced. Step 2, bait them. I gave him just enough rope to hang himself. His access to accounts stayed open, tempting, irresistible. Every transfer he thought he hid, I documented. Every late-night secret meeting, recorded. Step 3, wait. I let them think they were winning. And then, today, the boardroom invasion. Her voice demanding, my ex avoiding my eyes, my directors watching me for the kill. I gave them nothing, just one line, not a penny. I could feel her fury crackle across the table, desperate and childish. He shifted uncomfortably, sweat on his brow. They left that room believing I was cornered. That was their mistake. The next morning, my phone rang. Her voice gloating, venomous. "We burned your company down." I heard him chuckling in the background, the sound of a man who thought he'd finally won. I drove straight to the address. The smell of smoke hung heavy in the air. Blackened walls, windows shattered, the building gutted. Flames still licked the skeleton of what had been our first office, the place where we started with 2 desks and a dream. They thought they'd destroyed me. I laughed, because the office they torched wasn't the company headquarters. It was a decoy, an abandoned shell I'd kept under the company's old name, stripped of assets, used only as storage. Not a single server, not a single contract, not a single dime connected to it. They had set fire to ashes. Within hours, the insurance fraud reports began. Investigators swarmed. Arson is a serious crime when you torch a commercial property, even one that's worthless. And remember those secret transfers my ex thought he hid? They painted the perfect picture of motive. Jealous husband, cut out of the fortune, resorting to destruction. His new wife? Accomplice. Her voice bragging on my voicemail. Evidence. By nightfall, the police were knocking on their door. I didn't attend the arraignment, but I read every word of the transcripts. The judge's voice flat, his eyes wide when the evidence was played. My ex tried to shift blame onto her. She wept, pointing fingers at him. They crumbled in real time, their love story rotting faster than the embers of that burned-out building. Their bail was set higher than the combined balance of their frozen accounts. Meanwhile, I stood before my board, composed, explaining calmly how operations were unaffected, how redundancies were in place. Shareholders applauded. The stock rose. They had tried to take me down, and instead, they burned themselves alive. Sometimes I drive past that charred building. I roll the window down, inhale the smoke still lingering in the bricks. It reminds me of the night I walked in on them. The night betrayal branded me. But I don't feel sorrow. I feel clean. Because the truth is, they never destroyed me. They destroyed the illusion I once lived under. And when the ashes settled, I was free, richer, stronger, untouchable. So when I said, "Not a penny," I wasn't bluffing. It was a promise. And I always keep my promises.